Hello. Welcome again in another Sim flight. Flying the Piper Aerostar all the way from Canada, Whitehorse. Let's see where we all come from. All the way over there. We were here. And we're going all the way over there. On this side. I think here. Yeah, this is Gold Coast, YBCG. That's where we're going. And the last flight I had to take was last week. I haven't had time to fly again, so this night in the Netherlands, this evening, I've set the time in the sim to 7:30 in the morning, something like that. We're at Okinawa, at Naha Airport, to be precise. If I zoom in, here we are, and we will go all the way over here via some VR channels to Hualien at Taiwan. Our route is via Shishima, which is an hour flight from here, and the VOR is 117.010. Then Ishikajima, let me pronounce it correctly, 115.4. Then Yonaguni at 115.05, and then on to Hualien. And I don't think there's a VOR here, or am I mistaken? I am mistaken. So I will add this one in too, so that we have a proper one. Hualien. Basically all VOR. This is because of the large expanses of water we're crossing without a lot of visual stuff. The first hour here, nothing. Then we come across this island, and then it should become better, because here is an island, here's an island, and then we follow this island to this island, and then it's another 80 miles to the coast. So that should be doable. Right. Here we go. We are in our aircraft, closing the door. And of course I have to really set up my VA thing, because I'm flying this flight for my VA. It's the return flight. I'm returning this aircraft to its berth. Its berth is on our Australian hub at Gold Coast. And for some reason this aircraft ended up at Whitehorse, Canada. So we're correcting that, basically. This is all closed, this is all closed, this is all closed. Check. Check the levers, props. All checked. Good. Passengers are on board. Always the same people. I don't know why they keep up with me. Right. Let's check everything is off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, battery. Tweak. And fuel. I can hear them, so that's fine. Then I want nav lights and I want beacon lights. I already loaded the aircraft with fuel, and what I'm gonna do now is, of course, start the engines. Yeah. So, right hand fuel pump on. I'm doing the right hand first because of the hydraulic pressure, which comes from the right hand engine. So, you can hear it. Half open throttle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be enough for 18 degrees. And start her up. As soon as she goes, we add mixture, and she's running. Here's the pressure. This can go off. Same joke on the other side, but now we're entering the alternator, so we have power next to the engine, the battery. And pump on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it. Inch it. And here we are. Avionics on, master autopilot on. This is on all, this is on slave, but I can help it a bit. It will become eventually. We are now roughly east. So I will steer it to roughly east. And let the slaving do the correcting thing. Transponder on standby. And here we are. Set instruments. I shouldn't do that with this button because then we get this again. Alright. Headsets. Now some heating stuff. Pitot heat. I don't need it, but well, why not? Because we're going a bit high. So pitot heat on. Parking brake set. Correctly set. Cabin fan and heating. It is 16 degrees in the cabin, so I'm not gonna put in a lot of heater. I'm gonna put on the fan on low. Put this on ventilation air fully out. I'll take it on 50. No, I'll take it fully out. We'll see what happens. And the defroster blower, I'm gonna take that on because when we go higher, I don't want icing on the wing on the windows. Right. This pump can also go off. Now let's set some of our frequencies. As we said, the first one is 117.1. I'm gonna set that 117.1. Our second one is 115.4. I'm gonna set it on the second one. It was tuned to some old stuff. It's now set correctly. We let the oil warm up. It's still blinking. I should be able to send fuel to digital monitor. Engine's running good. After not having run for a week. Nothing too bad. Let's see how the ignitions go. Engine 1 is good. Engine 2 is good. Which is kind of remarkable because one of the engines has the massive spark plugs. And the right hand has the fine wires. In earlier flights we saw that the left hand engine with the massive spark plugs actually had a lot of had some trouble on starting and on colder temps. This problem seems to have gone away now that we are in warmer climate. Slowly but surely. Okay. Cabin lights on. Strobe is for later when we enter the runway. Someone is texting me. Gotta check that. No, not important right now. Okay. What I didn't check was which runway to take. So, flight planner, ROH, Naha. Ooh, that's quite the wind, and my parking brake just shut off. Why is that? Wow, 36, 15 knots on the nose and 10 on the side. So we're taking, I'm guessing 36 right, because that's the closest by. I'll add some traffic while I'm at it, because I forgot that. Restart to update that, but that's fine. That's all fine. That will come later. So why don't you react? Apparently I'm asking something terribly heavy for the PC. 36 right, meaning we are here, we go taxi to the right and then follow it down and then take the taxiway over here all the way to the end. And then head north and out. And then take up a heading of roughly 245. Not knowing the wind yet. But we will come to that. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Right. Taxi light on. Oh yeah. The flippy button. Gonna add some cockpit lighting. Only a little, but enough to make it stick. Flaps to 10. A bit early for pre-takeoff check, but might as well do it. Easy going, easy does it. Aircraft look good, still some bug splatters and stuff. Not cleaned since the last time. And like I said earlier in the previous flight, I am kind of expecting to get more bug splatter and dirt on our aircraft as we come to Taiwan and go more south. Then we get in a more tropical environment. So I am expecting to get more dirt accumulation when we get to warmer climate. Come to think of it, we've been in the cold all the way since Canada. In Japan it was still around 0. This is the first time that we're actually, no, I think the last flight coming here was like 7 degrees. Right. Let's do some engine checks. Parking brake set. First we're gonna check our props. So I'm gonna cycle them both 3 times to get the oil flow running. Now if the oil flow is interrupted, the props won't work, and then we're off to the bar. Flicks the full to the max. Right, both, left, both. Drop scene in both. Pull throttle, nothing shuts off. Very well. Aileron free, aileron free. I don't see him moving, only a little bit there. Rudder, I can't see that, but we came here so that will work. And elevator, that I can see, so that's all working free and fine. This one goes to alt. I'm gonna start my strobe, I'm gonna start my landing light, and we are gonna take off. Now heading 245, I already set that up, so I know which way to turn whenever we get going, and take it off from there. Right, parking brake off. Ease ourselves on the runway. So we have a 10 knot wind from the side. So we have to account for that a bit, so I'm gonna put my aileron in the wind probably. Right, ready, here we go. Full throttle. Max RPM seen. Bit of aileron to the right. And keep the rudder, keep it on the center line. And here we go. Straight on and out. Positive rate, gear up. .200 feet, flaps up. Climb power. Reduced to 24. Manifold pressure. And 2400 RPM. Keep the rate going. Set attitude. Left turn out. Keep climbing. Gentle turn as we're turning. As the more you turn, the more your angle is, the lower or the higher your stall speed gets. So the lower margin you have. So any climbing turns is always roughly 5 to 10 degrees, nothing more. Heading attitude. I see the temperature is dropping to 15, so I'm gonna put in some heater stuff. Let's put it to 40%. Let's see what happens. Manage the engines to keep a 24 manifold. Slightly different lever settings on the left and the right engine, probably because of the spark plugs, but anything can go, of course. Right, and we're off. Now this is gonna be a roughly 2-hour flight. Quick check. Yeah, 2 hour. I'm not gonna bore you with 2 hours of ocean. So between phases of flight and waypoints, I will probably pause the recording and do something else, so the video will be nice and, well, a bit more clean whenever something happens, something bad, something interesting, or just something that we know should happen in the flight, and I'll come back and restart the video, so that the video becomes a lot smaller than 2 hours of watching water, of course. Keep it on 24. So I expect to climb to around roughly 8,000 feet. Definitely not more than 10, because this aircraft is not pressurized. Now, of course, this is not something that is simulated. My passengers will not die. I will not asphyxiate. But for realism's sake, let's not do that. And if I want to maintain my nice, what I like is 2000 or 20 manifold over 2100 RPM, or 21 manifold over 2200 RPM. These are, I find, very nice, easy, smooth cruise settings. So this is what I'm aiming for. So basically, if I add throttle, we are now at basically full throttle, and it's not coming up over 24 anymore. Keeping them the same. When it reaches 2020 or 21, then I'm probably there to just level it off. Look at the climb though. Oh, taxi and landing lights, forgot those. I can turn off. Yep, she's still ugly. Sorry, I just don't like the design. The belly is way too deep. I understand it, and the nose way too long. I understand it from a aerodynamical point of view that this shape creates a very fast, slick airframe. It doesn't mean I find it pretty, so to say. Outside temperature still above 0. This is nice. This is good because that means I can do some clouds without the fear of icing up. 22 manifold pressure on the full power settings. I'm gonna take a little nose down. I don't want this speed basically to go below 100, then it won't climb as fast. Normally I would think I keep it on the blue line, because the blue line is the minimum safe climb speed on one engine. So if one engine should now die, then I would as well. Because you have to be at or above the blue line for a safe operation of climb on one engine. Be it as it may, we're approaching 21 manifold pressure, 21 inch. Now the reason I said 10,000 earlier is maybe it's general knowledge, I don't know, but I will tell you, in general above 10,000 feet there's not enough oxygen for a human to operate. Let's put it like this. So in general we have to either fly, I'm gonna level up at 9,000 by the way, set. We either fly on oxygen, or of course we have a pressurized cabin. We don't have a pressurized cabin and we don't have oxygen, at least not simulated. I don't know what will happen if we go above 10,000 for too long in this aircraft. I'm not gonna try it this trip. Maybe later, but not now. Not above water. In any case, maybe later over land. Okay, taking it back to 2200 RPM, increasing the pitch of the blades so they bite more air. And I'm also going to do the auto lean thing. I'm guessing we will still be at 12 gallons an hour per engine. Slowly pulling them down, slowly pulling them down, slowly pulling them down. Now they start stuttering, so going back up, going back up, going back up. There we are. Let it settle, but basically it's set on ECG. Let's set it at 12. Now I have to take back right, because left is full maxed out and right delivers more power, so that gives a yaw on the aircraft. Not really visible simulated because of all the water and no visual reference, but I can tell you, if you're an engine on an aircraft that does this yawing, it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling to fly. It gives more wind noise, it gives you a squeezy feeling because you're basically flying sideways. So, happy passengers, happy pilots, happy aircraft, happy engines, happy T's and P's, happy hydraulic power, happy fuel flow, happy heading. No nav reading yet. and no, of course, then no ground speed reading yet. It is what it is at the moment. Now, I have no clue on wind, well, some clue. I know that it is kinda head on, but also from the side, so we will have a deviation. I am fairly confident though that in roughly 40 miles we will pick up a signal on the VOR beacon, and when we do so, we can change our course if necessary to follow straight towards that VOR station. So whenever something strange happens, or when we reach that point, then I'll be back. For now, this is the view, this is what it is, and I expect to be at the next VOR station / island in, well, an hour. So I'm not gonna bore you with an hour of water and clouds. That's just for me. This is my private safe space, easy space, so to be. So whenever something happens, I will be right back. And I am back, and this is faster than I anticipated, because I left you guys at 8:05, 8:05, 5 past 8, and it's now 9 past 8, and look and behold, we are reaching a range to the VOR, and a time to station of 40 minutes, doing a ground speed of 183, so the altitude versus the headwind actually gives me a plus. I'm still thinking it's a headwind, otherwise this would be way higher. What I'll now do is turn this one towards, directly towards our station, which is also 245, 244. And I'll now switch this one to nav, meaning our autopilot will now follow this radial to the VOR station that we tuned, and it will bring us there in 39 minutes. Already on altitude, already on F. Sit back and enjoy the boring view. That's all I wanted to say. Pausing again, and I'll see you in, I'm guessing, roughly 40 minutes. Alright, and we are back. I left you guys at 10 past 8, it's now 46 past 8. We are 9.8 miles off, or roughly 3 miles off our first VOR. And I'm very happy that we tuned VORs, because look at this. We can see an island over here. I'm guessing this is Mikoyama. The big island, yeah. Miyakojima, sorry, not Mikoyama, Miyakojima. And our VOR station is Ishigakijima. Ishigakijima. That. Which is below us and, well, approaching very fast. But the weather is not kind. So we are really IFR, or we should go really low, which hampers our fuel efficiency and our range as such. Now, another good part is we see this needle has moved, so our next station, 115.4, at the place called Yonaguni. No, that's the next one. This is, oh, wait a minute. This is Shimojishima, and the next one is Ishigajima. Yeah, got it? Silly names. This is now tuned in, and if I would do this and move to 2, then it's 61 miles 20 minutes on this course. This is of course not correct, because we are not moving there in a straight arrowhead line. We're moving slightly away from it. So I'm gonna tune this so that it's centered. Okay, it's almost 245, it's 247. So, do not make our stuff fuss. And I know this one I can switch between nav 1 and nav 2, but it does something funny. Because one nav1 fixes only on the nav1 and the HSI, and the other one, nav2 setting, focuses on this one and this one. Something goes awry here and I don't know why. And it's in the manual and I don't understand it. And if I don't understand, I just don't do it. So, I'm gonna tune. First, I'm gonna set this to 247. Then I'm setting this to heading. Now, I'm now decoupling the autopilots from the radios. I can now do this one and set it to the nav2 frequency. There it is. This needle I can now set. And because it's now on nav1 and this setting is still to nav1, I can just do this again. And now it's coupled to the autopilot again. Of course, I can now use VOR2 for our next frequency, which is 115.05. So 115.05. It's off, or is it already? It's already there. Well, lo and behold. So I don't even need the nav1 station, I can just go direct. I won't, because this is my plan, and the mother of all fuck-ups is making a plan and then not sticking to it. So let's not do that. So, 45 miles, 17 minutes from now, so that would be roughly 9:05 that we are there. For the rest, everything is smooth. Smooth running, temperature is nice. Let's put a little bit back. So yeah, I will pause again and call you when we are at the other difficult to pronounce island. So, see you later. And we are back. Now, weather hasn't improved, as you can see. We are basically in clouds. Again, 10 miles from our second VOR now. The again, I'm gonna try it. Ishigakijima. Yeah, that's it. Ishigakijima. And then we will belay our turn to mostly west. 279er, I think, 280. Towards our third VOR. Now we already have a signal on that, so that makes it easy. As we can see here, and that signal is 74 miles away. Now I'm not gonna tune it yet because we are flying from island to island. Should I have an issue, then I want to be over land, even if it's only short. I'd much rather be over land in short hops than be in the viewing distance of land while going into the drink. It is an A2A aircraft. It's not a Carinado or something simple. So with that in respect, with that in hindsight, I'm gonna do that. Now, I should be over an island. I have no clue, because, well, it sucks. The view sucks. But I'm gonna do the basic thing again. I'm gonna turn this one, so that I know which way is our station. And that is range heading 277. I'm gonna turn my heading towards 277. I'm gonna set heading follow, so the autopilot will now turn toward 277. While it does so, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll change my nav1 frequency to this one. That way it's now following this. I'm gonna set my course again. .277 it is. I'm gonna set it to nav again, and it's now following again, as according to the nav1 setting, the nav1 radio, putting us directly on course towards the next island, 69 miles 22 minutes at a ground speed of 188. So a time to station 28 minutes. Now again, with the last trick. We are on course, and our final VOR station is Hualien, our destination, which is at 114.1. Here we go again, 114.1. Anything happening here? No, not yet. This will activate as soon as we come in range of this frequency, and then we can again do this trick and go towards our final destination, Hualien in Taiwan. It is 9:07, and we are running smooth. I guess this to be in 2-hour flight. I'm guessing it will be shorter. So the wind is helping us. The wind is in our favor. That's my my outtake on this. But we are not there yet. I'm gonna pause again as well. The view is, oh, there's something spewed of an island over here. Only shortly, only briefly. This sucks. Nothing to see here, folks. So pausing the movie, recording again, and I'll talk to you soon whenever something happens. And we are back. It's 9:25 and we are 9 miles out, 2 minutes out of what's this place called again? Yonaguni. Yonaguni is a small island, but again we probably won't see it. And Hualien is our destination, and it's already giving us a signal, so let's see which way that signal is. That's on a heading of 2556, and if I switch it over, 86 miles 27 minutes. If I turn towards it, we're not going in a straight line there yet because we are not going towards 256, we're going towards 277. Right. Not a whole lot of island to be seen again. We're basically skimming the top of the clouds. So, everything is running as I want to see it. Everything's in the green, everything is stable. No bitching, no drama. Gotta love it. Gotta love that. Ploink. Oh, cool. Never noticed that. Something you learn every day. Okay, so we're keeping this until we're basically on top of the VOR. And then we do again our little trick. You see the shifting already. 255. I'm gonna change this to 255. Set the heading. Set this to 114.10. Getting a new signal and a new range. Set this towards the direct radial. 255. Switch back to nav. I could set this to heading, of course, but with heading you keep the heading, but you may not keep the course due to the wind. When I set it to the VOR on this radial, it will keep this radial, meaning it will correct itself against the wind. I do not have a specific knowledge about the wind, only a generic trip wind. So I don't have to worry about it, basically. So now we're going towards Hualien, and this is 80 miles. We are at 9,000 feet, meaning if I want to go to 1,000, that's a deficit of 8,000. 9,000 and 1,000 minus 1,000 is 8,000. And the rule of thumb calculation is for 8,000 feet, I need 24 miles to descend. 8 times 3, rule of thumb. So, when we're roughly 25 miles out, I will again unpause the recording and we start our descent into Hualien, Taiwan. So, catch you later. Right, and here we go. We are 30 miles out. I'm gonna take a bit of margin over here. So I'm gonna set this to attitude No, I'm first gonna reset the attitude. Click. That's on the steering yoke, but you don't see it, but I've got it on my yoke figured up. And I'm gonna set it to attitude, and then I'm gonna set it to a descent rate. And of course, that's a bit too steep, baby. No, this is fine. And of course, take back some throttle. To let's say 15 on manifold pressure. Let's say we descend to 1500, something like that. In the meantime, RCYU. Let's check our CYU. Hualien. VFR, fuel cloud 7 knots from 20, so that's northeast. Meaning that runway 03 is recommended. So that's what we're heading for, runway 03, which will give us a 7 knot headwind and a very slight wind from the left. Passengers still look dead, fine, especially that dude. The eyes. Oh. Yeah, weird. Okay. I like that they model this, but it's I don't know. It's a bit deadish. Keep the manifold pressure in check, because it will climb again, of course, as the air grows thicker as we descend. We are still on the radial heading 20 miles out, 5 minutes at this speed. It's not a very convenient flight because well, you know, nothing happening. Only clouds and water. To look at, and let's be honest, even at medium settings on my sim, MSOS 2024 looks amazing. So very much in tune with VFR flying, with sightseeing, with everything that makes flying great, in my view at least. Oh yeah, let's just look at this one. I don't hear anything. I expect to hear something here. Nothing. Is there any B station around? Quick check. .380. There's the coast. signal. Nothing. This is something I have to check with A2A on the forum. Keeping in mind my altitude though. There we are, Taiwan. Cool. I don't hear noise. I would expect the Morse code of the station to hear that. And of course the common radios which you select to listen to. It's the same thing. In real life that would work, and I would expect it on the A2A it works as well, but I'm not seeing it work, I'm not hearing it work. I'm gonna descend to 1500 feet. Or maybe even 1000 to get straight into the pattern altitude. Let's do that. There's more wind. I'd expect a bit more dampening on the headphones as well, but oh well. Let's assume it's not active noise reduction. Okay, multiply it off. Hualien, here we come. Now I'm setting my throttles a bit lower still, allowing my speed to taper off while keeping 1000 feet. Turning on my landing and taxi lights already. And I expect to see the airport soon. I think it's over here already, but I don't know for sure. We're gonna take runway 03. We are now at 25, meaning that 03 is over here on this heading. So we're taking a right hand circuit pattern. That's the easiest from here. Modernized aircraft. Like I said, I find it ugly, but I find it nice. Here we are. This is the runway. I'm gonna circle around that little hill. I'm in the white arc, so I can go a gear. And like I said, flaps to 10. I'm gonna steer 2-1, 210. And I would report right hand down with runway 03 for a full stop landing. Now give me some space. I'm not gonna turn over that hill, I'm gonna turn around it. It's a nice visual feature to use. Oh, watch the speed, watch the speed. I wanna keep it at 100 roughly. Don't want to fall out of the sky all of a sudden. Keep an eye on the runway. Should remain 45 degrees. That's the taxiway. That's a long one. Don't get interrupted. Keep your landing point roughly 45 degrees behind. So if it's between out of that window, then it should be good. Oh, need to pause because. Sorry about that. Sneezing. Let's go a little bit further just so we get across that hill. And we turn in and we start our descent. Throttles to 20 roughly. Uh-oh. I'm allergic to Taiwan. Oh. Turning in, and when we're on base, we move our flaps to 20 degrees. 3 greens on the gear. Already checked that. Passing that little hill. You see how close you get when you normally would go over it. And turning in final. Taking 30 degrees, flaps. Okay, pitch full fine on the props. Full mixture. I'm doing pitch full fine because if you have to do a go around, then you need full power. And full power needs to be on high pitch props, otherwise you risk damaging the engine. Now I have heard that the Piper, you don't have to do this on the Aerostar, but for me it's rammed into my training on every type I've flown with a variable pitch prop to do this. So here we go, slightly from the right it seems, but doable. Above the numbers, cut throttle, keep it flying, keep it flying, keep it flying, keep it flying. Here we go. Oh, 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 oh. Just a bit too much. Ignore the applause, that's the VA tool kicking in. I don't like that sound, but I do like other sounds that it gives. And just roll it out. I'm not braking because, well, I don't need to brake. Plenty of room before we encounter a taxiway. I'm gonna park it at the left. Some other aircraft too, so it's nice to see, even if it's not GA. Here we are, flaps up, strobes off, transponder off. You hear that nice low rumble of these powerful engines when they're not going full burn. Here we are. Landing lights off. Forgot that one. On the earlier on and off stuff. I'm gonna turn over here. Listen to these engines on low power. I can tell you, these are very realistic sounds. Here we are. HK Express, Hong Kong Express. Parking brake set. And we start switching her off. P2 heats off. We turn off our fans. And we turn off our landing light, taxi light. This is all off. I can do the fan and the heating. I can turn those off. I can turn off the left-hand engine by cutting the mixture. There she goes. Then the right hand by cutting the mixture. Turn off all the ignitions. Turn off the fuel. And you can hear them. Turn off the beacon. Cabin lights off. The nav lights off. Automation stuff off. Alternator off. Battery off. Door open. Thanks people, get out. We are in Taiwan. We have left Japan. We're in Taiwan. Cool runnings. Let's close my flight in the VA tooling. Made some money again. Low as it is with 5 passengers, but that doesn't matter. It's all about the experience. Now, while we are here, let's plan our next flight. And I hope to do this tomorrow. I hope to do some flights this week, as I've been off for almost a week on this. And how did we do? Well, we did proper good. So you can took off here. You can see it. We can took off here. Oh, I have to turn this off on off, otherwise we go back. And we here this is what the wind did. We set it 245, but the wind kicked us off course. But then we found the station and we set it to the radial, set the radial to the autopilot, and then you just correct your course to go back to where you want. Now, here we are, and then we switched over almost on the same course. We didn't see this island because of the weather, and we came to Ishigaki airport. Slightly before it, we turned to the next POR station, followed that, and slightly before that we turned to the next VOR station, followed that, and now we are here in Taiwan. Cool! Now we're gonna start planning for the next one, and of course this is our departure. Now where shall we go? Let's see if I do the tip of Taiwan. That's Hangzhou, I guess. I'm not gonna do all these islands. I want to do some VFR flying again, and following water doesn't help in that. So if I would do islands again, then we go to Laniu, Orchid Island. Does sound nice though, Orchid Island. Hangzhou. If I go to Hangzhou, then that would be 42 minutes. It's not too far. And of course, after that, we have to go to the Philippines, and that will be a stretch. That will be something here in Babian Channel, San Vicente. These are small things. I'm guessing this one. Either this one, Laoak, if I pronounced that correctly, or North Cagayan. But that's for later. First, we can do this one. And I will tune in a VOR just to be sure. It's only a DME, okay. Oh, it's a military one. See this? It's airspace. Oh, the airspace is only here on this side. Okay. There's also airspace here. I was planning to follow the coast. Strange thought. Basco, how long is that? What's this runway? Is 4,000 feet. It's kinda short. If I say this, it's only 1 hour. That's actually quite doable versus the 42 minutes of here. If I select this VOR to add it in, then we can follow the coast visually. Don't matter the straight line, that doesn't really matter to me. Or just follow the coast, or even follow this river. You can do that too. Then follow the coast even more to this VOR, and from this VOR we set off to Basco. RP, this is Philippines, so basically the next flight would lead us from Taiwan straight to the Philippines. I thought it would be longer. Of course, the aircraft is fast, it's 180 knots, so 133 is 45 minutes indeed, 42 calculated. So by adding a 100-mile stretch with it, it's 1 hour 15 minutes, and then we're in the Philippines, which makes this stretch easier again. Then we can go either to Santiago or to Taiwan. This is Tugugaro. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. This will be our next flight. The difficulty in this, of course, oh no, it isn't, because there's a VOR here. Yes, there is. It's only a DME. I'm gonna add this one because that's an NDB, and I'm gonna add this one because it's a DME. Of course, I'm not gonna do this Yankee stuff, but now I know that the frequencies are in, and I can tune them both. So this is a volcano, Mount Traya. It will probably be very distinct, and there's an island in between which we will pass on the south side, but still a VOR is a good measure when going over a large body of water. This is going to be our next flight. I expect it to be longer in Taiwan, but it's only a short hop. Unless I want to explore Taiwan itself, but I don't really feel the need for it, so that's good. Okay, our next flight will be this one. Good on us. Now, this is our Aerostar. Our Aerostar is still a bit dirty. It's nothing too bad. I expected it to be worse. We haven't cleaned this aircraft since Kamchatka, where for some mysterious reason it was cleaned. And we haven't had issues. Not since we had the cylinder on the right-hand engine drop out over the Bering Strait. If you want to watch that one, it's a couple of movies back on my YouTube channel. Any case, that was the only real fuck up that we had. Otherwise, it's all good. Yeah. So, this is our aircraft. I'm planning not to clean it before we get to Australia, so I'm kind of rooting, kind of hoping that with coming to the warmer climate, it's already, it's still 18, 16. We left 16 in Okinawa, so it's the same basically. I'm expecting this aircraft to get a lot dirtier by the time we get over the Philippines. And I truly hope so, because that's one of the modeling things. So I want to see that. I want to see it happen. I want to see it take off the speed. Apparently it takes off 2 to 3 knots of airspeed. I want to see that happen. For now, this is our flight. Thank you for watching. And I hope to be back with you very soon on our next flight towards the Philippines. So, goodbye for now. And thanks again.